All right, Nisha, thank you so much for those details. Now, moving on, the Reserve Bank of India on Thursday issued a notification barring payment system operators from issuing any new proprietary QR codes. And they've also asked those players who are currently using proprietary QR codes to shift to the interoperable QR codes, which is the UPI QR or the Bharat QR by March 2022. Now, just to break this down, QR codes are, of course, the quick response codes that you see, the black square stickers that you see, when you make payments at your neighborhood stores. And what RBI is really asking is that they should not be closed loop systems. Any customer should be able to use any app to make a payment to a merchant through the QR code. They want it interoperable. Now, in another notification yesterday, the RBI has also called for applications to form a self-regulatory organization for the payment sector. To discuss these developments, we have with us Vishwas Patel, Chairman of the Payments Council of India. Vishwas, welcome on the show and season's greetings. Firstly, if you can just talk about the QR code and what the impact really will be on players. Have most players in the system actually moved to interoperable QR codes already over the last few years, or are there a sizable number of players who will now have to shift?
Hi, Mugdha. Yes, we have, I think, as RBI has rightly done, making all QR codes interoperable. What it will essentially mean is that the power is not concentrated in a few players like what we see in China today, right? China State Council's Anti-Monopoly Commission is now investigating Alipay and WeChat. Right today, because of their proprietary QR code, they are just shifting money left pocket, right pocket within their systems. And today, Alipay with 55% market share in China and WeChat at 39% of the overall $8 trillion Chinese market. So they are monopolized by using their closed proprietary QR codes. Essentially, what it means is that if you go on a seller's or a shop's checkout counter, you will see multiple QR code of Alipay. We were seeing the same thing in India. There were at least 6 to 7 different QR codes on every retail counter, right? So we did looking at.
But my question to you is whether there are a lot of players who have been using proprietary QR codes who will now have to shift to interoperable.
Yes, I think the draft report was already placed, and what we see is that in September of 2019, PhonePe already moved to interoperability and putting up interoperable codes, right. And even Paytm from January of this year has already started installing interoperable codes. Right. So almost, I believe Paytm says that almost a crore counters also have interoperable QR codes.
Right. So some of the big players have moved. Now, coming to the second notification by the RBI, they're calling, to set up a self-regulatory organization. What do you make of this? And will PCI, the Payment Council of India, also apply to, join this self-regulatory organization?
Yes, definitely. In fact, informally, we've already been working with RBI on such kind of an SRO, because every small rules, regulations, bylaws between the payment ecosystem players need not come by a clarification or a notification from RBI, right? It's better to have that self-regulatory organization within the payment system guys itself, who can evolve by having that best practices and other processes, so that digital economy can grow. Right. The consumers can have a very safe experience, a clear kind of a risk management, risk protection, as well as refund mechanism and other things. So
is PCI going to apply?
Yes, we are going to apply, and as I said, we are already informally working with RBI on such kind of organization. We needed that regulatory kind of a backing, and I think this SRO just solves that. I think it's a very bold, innovative, and a very good step by RBI.
Okay. All right, Vishwas. Lastly, I have to ask you about this whole Google Play Store billing issue that's really been raging in the startup ecosystem. The Payment Council of India was also part of these discussions with, the IMAI and the government. Have you raised this issue also with regulators like RBI and NPCI? Because, you've cited the problem and you say that Google is not authorized to force merchants to go through their billing system. What are the steps that you've taken?
Yes, I think we are talking to everybody and anybody, be it in the government or regulatory or RBI, who are willing to listen to us. Because I think from our country's independence point of view, we can't have one operating system provider dominating and sort of dictating terms to merchants to use their own proprietary billing and payment system versus the RBI authorized payment systems. So say if I were a merchant, if I were an education merchant or anything, right now Google forces them. Right now it's delayed for another 6 months till February of next year till it comes in place. But what it means is that if a education merchant is using, say, a CCAvenue payment gateway for its own website for collections, plus in the app, be it for Android or iOS, right? Android says that no, you cannot use an RBI authorized payment gateway like CCAvenue. You have to compulsory use the Google Play Store for education, for fitness, for gaming, lot more categories. So it entails, means that it's a dictate that you have to pay 30% MDR part of that.
All right.
Listing.
Okay, Vishwas, thank you so much for sharing those details with us. Thank you so much again for joining us on Startup Street. Now, moving on, a do-it-yourself platform to set up an online store, Dukaan, recently raised $6 million in seed funds co-led by Matrix Partners India and Lightspeed India Partners. Now, this fundraise comes at a time when the company is embroiled in a court battle with Sequoia India-backed Khatabook for alleged copyright violation. Now, Dukaan had leveled charges of plagiarism against Khatabook, following which the latter filed a writ petition in the Karnataka High Court. The High Court then restrained Dukaan's co-founder Sumit Shah from infringing Khatabook's copyright over the source code of Dukaan application, and currently the Dukaan app has been barred from downloads on Play Store as well as on Android application package. Now, to know more on this, joining me now is Sumit Shah, co-founder and CEO of Dukaan. Sumit, many thanks for joining us on Startup Street. First up, following an order by the Karnataka High Court on September 25th, your app is currently not available on Google Play Store. In fact, yesterday, the court has given you another date, and now the matter will be heard on November 5th. You haven't had any users since the ban. What is your plan B? Are you looking to wait till the next hearing, or are you open to changing the name? Are you looking at building a new app? What is the plan? Sumit, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you?
Yeah. So I'm just asking you, what is the plan B? Are you willing to wait till November 5th when the court perhaps announces something, gives you a direction? Or are you looking at building a new app or perhaps changing the name? What is the plan B?
So we are still, considering different options, whatever the legal team suggests, and we'll evaluate whatever is best for us, and we'll go with that.
I understand that, Sumit, and I know you can't say much, but really, how do you plan to get new users, till the matter is resolved? You've been barred from running, operating and managing the Dukaan app on any other online platform. You already have over 2.7 million merchants on board. What are the conversations you're having with investors? What's the road ahead looks like?
Right. As we already have made the appeal in the court, and we are just waiting for the response. So let's see how it goes. But in the meantime, we're already working on the product side. So whenever the time comes, we'll maybe we'll get the Dukaan app back, or maybe we'll launch the new app. Or if the court says that you can't do this business, then we have to follow the instructions.
Okay, so are you open to changing the name? You're saying you might also look at building a new app. So changing name is not an option for you right now.
Yeah, changing name is not an option.
Okay. And why is that? Or, building an app perhaps works better for you. What's the reason here?
See, we already own the trademark Dukaan, and, the app is already getting popular for the same name, what it does. So we'll fight for that if we get the name back. But again, as you know, this time is important, and everybody is seeking for these kind of solutions that Dukaan. So whatever the team suggests, we'll go. So it's just matter of time. So we are just waiting for the next hearing.
But in case you do change the name, you tend to lose out on all the followers, that all the merchants that you've onboarded currently?
Yes, we'll lose like all 2.7 million businesses. Like they won't be able to, like get the future updates and things like that. So, but whatever people have downloaded, that will be functional.
Okay. So changing your name, changing the name currently is not an option. Clearly, you lose out on all the merchants that you have onboarded on the platform. So we'll wait and watch what the court says, what the decision is, and then if you are willing to build a new name. Also, it's, I have to mention this, that you've raised $6 million in seed funding from Lightspeed and Matrix. What gave these investors confidence to back you, especially after the stay was announced? This funding just came recently.
See, like investors don't bet just looking at building. The most important thing for them is like who is building that, right? So as they say that like it doesn't matter like which car you're driving, it matters like who is the driver. So exactly same way, like if Dukaan doesn't work out, like there could break something else which we could build. And I think like investors are like supporting us like strongly to whatever things that we are like planning to do, like they are open with that.
Okay. So, while you have to wait to get back on Play Store, the e-commerce enablement space has seen the entry of over half a dozen players, apart from Khata Books,
right.
MyStore, OK Credit, Bikai, M-Swipe, Magic Pin, and a lot of them have also launched their app with similar features. What is your go-to-market strategy going to be? How do you plan to differentiate your offering?
See, like the game over here is it's about the technology, like what kind of technology you build, like how do you understand the market and everything. I think like what current players are trying to do is like replicate all the features of maybe like Amazon. That's not how it. For example, people don't even know what is the meaning of revenue. Like there was a term on the dashboard of people who used to use Dukaan, right? So they are like, what is this word? We don't understand. So we changed that to like total sales. So these kind of things. Speaking of like number of players, I think like Facebook was like the fifth, at one point of time, it was like the fifth ranked social platform. And suddenly like they took over. So like it doesn't matter like how many people are trying to build the same product. We see that like the direct competition that we are having with is WhatsApp Business. So that's what like I personally feel that like we don't have to think about like what rest of the players are building.
All right, Sumit, we will be in touch with you and, of course, get you back on the show once we have a clear indication of what the road ahead and what the Karnataka High Court's decision is. Thank you so much, Sumit, for joining us today on Startup Street. And on that note, it's time for us to take a short break. Up next, the festival season is in full swing. We speak to Amazon's Akshay Ahuja on the Great Indian Sale and the response they've seen so far.